everybody. This is Osiris, and this is 15 minutes. Guess where we're headed towards? Norman Rare Guitars in Tarzana, California, on Ventura Boulevard. For those of you who do not know where it is, we'll be talking to Norman Harris a little bit. Hopefully he can spend some time. It is his shop, and he gets very, very busy dealing with people like the bigwigs, like Joe Bonamassa, like Les Paul, which is where he started. Those of you that know about jazz, Jaco Pastorius, those kind of people, the late great George Harrison, let's not forget him, and a host of others. Guess who we'll be talking to? Jerry Jemmott, two-time Grammy winner, the man on the bass. I call him the Groovemaster, bass master, and we'll be talking to them about what they do and more. We'll be right back. And just like I promised, I'm back at Norman's Rare Guitars. I am sitting here with the bass master, the funk-a-doodle-doo, the man that knows the shiz all about the bass, Mr. Jerry Jemmott, two-time Grammy winner. Say hey.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
So Jerry was telling me these stories, so first of all, about how he got started. One way he got started was he was a dancer. People may not know that, but he was a dancer. He started hanging out with the boys in the hood, so to speak. Next thing you know, he was around royalty. So tell us a little bit about that story.
Man, it's quite a leap from being a dancer to a musician, but it did happen. You know, the formative years of my life. It's a really long story.
Well, hey, tell us a little bit about it.
Make it really,
tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, I went from Carnegie Hall, and this was my first time dancing. I was 5. Okay, so the big stage never has been a problem for me from that point on. And then I was drafted by some musicians when I was 12. I've been playing 1 year, and I was the bass player. I was 12. The drummer was 30. The horn player, another Jerry, he was 45, and the leader was in his 50s. Okay.
And those people were Charlie Mingus and...
No, they were not. They were Smiling Henry and the Rhythm Makers.
Oh, wow.
Right out of
I like the name, Smiling Henry.
Smiling Henry and the Rhythm Makers, right out of the Bronx.
I know.
You know, and we walked all over the tri-state area, basically. Not only Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, but also upstate. So that was my start. Then I went from there to Pucho and the Latin Soul Brothers. Oh, wow. You know, then I went with Mercer Ellington, you know. And then from that point on, I went into doing the studio, and I switched to electric bass, which people know me from playing electric bass. You mentioned Charlie Mingus. That was my chief inspiration coming up as a kid. So I still have that, you know, that Mingus instinct, I should say.
Now he's got the Mingus fingers. That's what he's got.
That means go for the throat.
Talk to us a little bit about present. Like I know that you're working on, you have done a film on Jaco Pastorius. For those, he was an amazing man. For any of you guys out there that know him, still in the heart, still in the soul. Jaco Pastorius, doing a film called Jaco. And you also have a book out called, I love this, The Bass in You. The Bass in You. I got it in me, you got it in you. Talk to us about some color, some rhythm, some harmonies and stuff that you do.
Well, starting with the bass in you, it's just a learning system. This is what they call the guitar in you, or the engineer in you. It's just a system I got from my practice of Buddhism over the years, where I just refined it into something that it just comes out naturally. I mean, you are what you eat. Exactly. You know, so it was a way for me to actually teach music on a higher level that really delved deeper into the person to get the personal expression of the person out truly. So it wasn't just about copying, cutting, and pasting. Mm-hmm. These are things they could actually touch and feel from their own experience and have connection with. And so my teaching system deals with that.
Well, one thing about your teaching system that I read, and trust me, I'm not trying to play the bass, but I did read your book, and it's very interesting in terms of how you scale things out with color and sound and rhythm. I think one of the exercises you gave someone to do was to go out on the beach or something. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about how, you know, the setup is, like what kind of mood you got to be in to find the bass in you.
Well, you know, it's about putting the bass is a supportive instrument, you know, so therefore it's fundamental. So it's going to be something that's going to be elemental to getting the groove going, okay? So you want to pick out a scene, a time and place, pick out a color, pick out a purpose for what you're going to make this, how this bass is going to work, because the bass is going to be disruptive, it carries the groove, and whatever the bass does, everything else is going to follow, like a building, okay?
The first thing I hear is, as a matter of fact, anybody in a club or dancing, the first thing you hear is boom, 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 boom. That's the part that gets you up to the boogie.
Yes, exactly. And this has been, in modern days, it's become more so.
Yes.
Before, when I started playing the bass in the background, I'd like to strain to hear it on the records. You move the needle back and forth to see what the bass player was playing.
Well, that is not the case now.
No, it's not the case now, you know. And music is taking it up to another level. And
Yeah.
Jaco, mentioned Jaco, is a big, you know, part of that. You know, he was able to put the time into his music that no one else had done prior to that. And he has such a strong drive and a personal commitment, which we will see coming out in the movie.
Tell us a little bit about the film. Like, what did you focus on? Is it a biography about his life? Is it about how he influenced music? What, you know, just how involved is the movie on the life of Jaco?
Well, it's really a documentary, and it really covers everything. It covers his family life. They have home videos, his children, his brother, people he worked with. People
Well, wasn't he in Weather Report?
He was in Weather Report. He worked with Joni Mitchell for a while. He had his own group at the end, Word of Mouth. He was like, they signed a big contract with Warner Brothers to get that done. So he was on the cutting edge. You know, but unfortunately, you know, music changed. They wanted something else from him. And
do you think that caused him to have some?
well, they wasn't received well by the record company.
At that time.
At that time. You see, now of course, you know.
Of course, people are always ahead. I hate that.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yeah, when people are ahead, this is what
You're
happens.
ahead, and then here come the kids to reap the benefits.
Exactly. But you know, he laid it out there, and the film like portrays his life really and shows you the size of Jaco you wouldn't have seen before, that people have known him for. So anybody out there, they're gonna really get it's gonna be an eye opener.
Where can we find the film?
It'll be out coming out probably in September. We're doing like screenings, pre-screenings all over
Where
the
are the
country.
pre-screenings going to be?
We just did one at South by Southwest.
Oh, that's great.
That was the last one. There's one coming up in Argentina.
Okay.
On the 21st.
And you won't be there because he is, guess what, people, on the road with the real Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, not Rihanna.
You got that right. The original, never
The original one and only.
The champion of the world's greatest singer.
Yeah.
You know, for me to be playing with her again, it's like, you know, reuniting something that she's part of my, you know, career coming up. And when I started making records, my early records were made with her. Not only her, but her sister, Irma,
Oh, yeah.
and her sister, Carolyn. Before I recorded Relief, I had done Piece of My Heart with Irma. I did Carolyn's album, and then I did started working with Aretha. So we have a long history, you know, back there now.
Well, I know that she specifically requests you, and if you know a little bit about Aretha Franklin, she don't specifically request too many people.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate.
Yes, you are.
We have, you know, we bonded like that ever since the first time we played together.
Well, both of you guys are Aries too, right?
Yeah,
I think she's
actually,
an Aries.
we're 3 days apart.
Yeah.
3 days and 4 years apart.
Yeah, she's got a fiery temperament.
Yeah.
Very, very appreciative to have her still around.
Oh, for sure. She's just sounding great. I mean, she has such a great show. George Faison is working with her. So
Oh, wow.
So it's
That's
really
amazing.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I know George from New York.
Yeah.
All my East Coast connections, even my colors program, Jamboree now. It's called Jamboree now. In fact, my YouTube channel.
The
is
college
called,
program is called Jamboree, people.
No, the color program.
The color program. The
Color
color
sound.
program. The
It's
color
called-
sound program.
It's called Jamboree now.
Okay, Jamboree now, and it's on YouTube.
You can find it on. You will be able to find it on YouTube.
And what is it going to be under? The color and
It'll,
sound?
it'll be under Jamboree now.
Okay, Jamboree now. Jamboree.
That's right.
Now.
Now, right now, right now.
So listen, because we're in Norman's Rare Guitars, can I get somebody from Norman to come over here and talk to us for a minute? Can I grab somebody from Norman's Guitars? We're on film camera here.
How about Jordan?
I just need like 2 seconds. Where's Jordan? Can I get somebody to come over here and talk to us?
He might be selling one of those rare guitars.
He might be. He could be selling
Maybe can we?
one
can,
of those rare
we're
guitars.
gonna make we're gonna make
Jordan,
a pause.
can I get you for a second?
Oh, here he is.
This is the son of a famous man, a handsome man he is. Mr. Norman Harry, I'm gonna give him a big hug just because I like to hug men.
I'm good with
That's feeling, and he smells good, ladies. Guess to check that out. So he's not only a hard-working guy, he smells good while he's on the job. And we're gonna talk to him a little bit about your story here. It's 1975. People out there that don't know anything about Norman's, very famous. The story started that he was in Miami with his family. He was a guitarist himself, I believe, playing with somebody called Frankie Joe and the Little Rocketeers.
Wow.
And so from there we got to California, Cali, in this area, Tarzana, And I believe that your first store started up the street, and you guys have been here ever since, right?
Actually, I think the first store was actually in Hollywood before I was even born. It was built in '76.
Oh, come on.
I think my dad pretty much started the vintage guitar business out here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And he's worked real hard and set a good example, and I'm trying to follow in those footsteps.
Well, he's a little modest. Dad's talking, we're talking Les Paul. Okay, come here, people, history. Les Paul, the late George Harrison, Joe Damasio, Jerry Jemmott, and any other famous person you want to know. As a matter of fact, we don't have a lot of time, but there's an interesting story. So if you want to read it, go under Guitar Aficionado online, and you will read the story of how Norman's rare guitars got started. It's very interesting how he had to go out and hunt down the red convertible something guitar for Les Paul. No, it was Les Paul's red convertible guitar.
My mom on the
right.
phone, keep my mom on the
And they had to go find this guitar, and he started finding these obscure guitars. He himself is a collector, is that right?
He loves guitars, and he gets excited.
He has
every
over
time.
700 guitars.
Oh, way over.
Here, it's over 2,000 guitars in the store.
And then there's a warehouse called this. We have a secret stash in the back.
Oh, whoa,
And then we have a warehouse full of guitars, which is by appointment only.
Yeah.
And,
by appointment, people. This is high class.
I can
here.
dig it.
By appointment, no renegades allowed.
I'm not sure about the high class. But we try to keep some
They
class.
try to keep it up there.
But yeah, so anybody who ever wants a good guitar and doesn't see it here, don't be surprised if we have it stashed away. The only problem that you're going to find when you come to Norman's Rare Guitars is that we have too many.
Aw, thank you, Jordan. Thank you
Very
so much.
good.
Such a doll. Thank
Right.
you. Thanks for being on camera. Mwah. Oh, I got a kiss. I'm special. Anyway, let's get back to Jerry. Jerry, we're almost out of time, but I need you to talk a little bit more about where we can find your book, where we can find out more about the film you're doing, where, if you're hanging out in New York, Chicago, wherever you are, where can we go to see you?
Right now, Aretha Franklin's taking most of my time, so you can go to StubHub.
And that's busy. He's busy.
You can catch that on StubHub.
Where's the
The Jaco movie, go to JacoPastorius.com.
Okay.
You find it there. All my stuff is on my books, my CDs. Everything I'm doing is on my website, JerryJemmott.com.
JerryJemmott.com. Do you have Twitter?
I have Twitter, but I'm kind of slow on Twitter.
Okay.
Don't-
I like the honesty.
I'm
I like
slow
the
on
honesty.
I have to tell
Twitting
you.
is twitting too fast for Jerry. Jerry's like, look, I'm too busy playing the bass.
I got a pile of requests, people wanting to follow me. Where am I going?
He twitters the bass.
Yeah.
That's what he twitters, okay?
Speaking of which, I got a little.
And we're going to do a little, let's do a
My
little bit
most
for you.
famous bass line comes from this one particular song.
Here we
I
go.
recorded with King Curtis since I have it here.
This is musical.
Hope you can little. Let's see. Everybody remembers this.
Ooh. It just makes me feel all oozy and stuff going, Oh my gosh. And that, people, is 15 minutes. If you want to go out, you're going to catch Jerry Jemmott hanging out with Aretha Franklin on the road with his book, The Bass in You and Me, and his film that he is appearing in, for those of you that are very, very big fans of these people, Jaco Pastorius. It's called Jaco. It'll be out in September. Look for it. And this has been 15 minutes, and that's a wrap.
All right.